Hi, I'm Jamie Smart, and welcome to this brief video on what I call the ultimate leverage point. And what I mean by leverage is your ability to amplify your efforts, amplify your results, amplify the impact that you have in your life and in the world. And this came from a question that a mentor once asked me. She once asked, what's the number one change you could make, problem you could solve, or goal you could achieve that would have the maximum impact in your life, that would make the biggest difference in your work, your life, your relationships? And when she asked me that question, I went completely blank. I didn't know the answer. And I felt kind of sheepish because I thought, you know what, I should know the answer. Because it made sense to me that whatever the place that would have the number one impact, that's where I should be spending most of my time, most of my energy, most of my efforts. Anyway, over the years, I've come up with a variety of different answers to that for myself, and I've asked that question to a number of clients. But here's the interesting thing. The answer a person gives to that question is always going to come from within their worldview, from within their understanding of how life works. And here's the thing. Your understanding of how life works dictates everything that you're doing, all the actions you're taking, all the responses you're having. So it's a very, very impactful thing. And so when I ask clients this question today, it's to get an understanding of how they see the world. Because I've discovered that there's another leverage point which is even more impactful, and it is your understanding. See, it turns out that in Western society, and in many parts of the world, we've got a misunderstanding of how life works. And an easy way of thinking about this is in the statement, I'll be happy when. And you hear this lots of times, maybe you've said it yourself, I'll be happy when I get the car, or I'll be happy when I get the house, or I'll be happy when I get that new job, or the right partner, or I'll be happy when I get rid of the wrong partner, or I'll be happy when I've changed my limiting beliefs, or I'll be happy when I've achieved my goals. Or maybe the form it takes is, I couldn't be happy if this happened, or that happened, or I lost the partner, or didn't get the job, or the house, or whatever. And that runs throughout our society. And yet it's based on a fundamental misunderstanding of how life works. You see, how life works is inside out. 100% of our feeling is coming from our thinking in the moment, but it looks like it comes from our circumstances. Now, this whole website is devoted to helping you have insights into that understanding, helping you see through the superstitions that have been causing us problems as a society and as individuals until now. And what I call the ultimate leverage point is a deeper understanding of how life works, and how you get that understanding is through what I call insight, an insightful understanding. And to give you an idea of insight, I'd love to use the metaphor of a dog chasing its tail. So if you've ever seen a dog chasing its tail, if we could ask the dog what it needs, it might say, well, you know what? Number one, I need more speed, because this thing I'm chasing, it's really, really fast. And number two, I could do with more agility, because this thing I'm chasing, it's very, very nimble. Like I'll catch sight of it out of the corner of my eye, and I'll jump at it, and it's gone. It's very nimble. And that brings me on to number three. I could do with better strategy, because it doesn't matter how cleverly I think or how well I plan it out. When I go for it, it always seems like it's one step ahead of me. Now, you and I know that the dog actually only needs one thing. All it needs is to understand that's its tail. And the moment it understands that, it would go, like if we could tell it, if we said, hey, dude, it's your tail. If it understood that, it would go, oh, thanks. That's taken a lot off my plate and a lot off my mind. That's cleared my to-do list and opened up a lot of space in my day. I'm a lot more relaxed. That would really do something for that dog. But if we told it and it just had an intellectual understanding of it, it would probably say something like, okay, got it. So I've got to remember not to chase it's my tail. So I need to know, how do I remind myself that it's my tail? Or it might say, okay, so I need to remember not to chase it. Or, well, if it said those things, we would know that it hadn't really understood. It hadn't had an insight. It had intellectual understanding, but it hadn't had an insightful understanding. And an intellectual understanding is when someone says, yeah, I understand that intellectually, but, and then they tell you how it really is for them. Well, when they say, I understand that intellectually, but what they're saying is, I understand that intellectually, but actually how I think life works is this, or that, or whatever they say after it. But when you have an insightful understanding, it updates your understanding of how life works, gets you more in contact with reality, more in contact with the reality of life. So as you continue to explore the videos and articles on this website, I invite you to watch and listen for insightful understanding. Just allow it to hit you. You don't even have to pay too much attention. You can just, not think about it too much. Just allow yourself to be impacted. And by the way, I invite you not to believe what I'm saying, but rather to evaluate what you're hearing against your own life. We've all had insights. We've all been impacted by things. We've all had those sudden aha moments where you suddenly realize that something's different from how you thought it was, and the world looks different to you. So that's what I'd love you to get from this. And by the way, as you listen to this, if this is making some kind of difference to you, I'd love you to type your comments in the box below and let me know what you're experiencing and what you're seeing and hearing. Thank you for your attention.